NAIA national title hoop team back in 1989. 22-5-1, 3-1-1 in his last 5. Murray, Rivera, past their prime, but still solid work for Freddie. Teddy's tips for FREDDIE Cuevas.
Well, if Cuevas is going to come here into the hometown of Taylor and pull off a big upset, he has to speed it up. We're talking about your left jab. You have a tendency to be slow with it. You need to be quick with it, or you're going to taste right hand from the undefeated Taylor. And number 2, double your treat. 2 jabs instead of 1. 1 will leave you short with the taller Taylor. 2 will get you inside and take away the room for his powerful right hand. 1 will leave you in the way of the right hand. And finally, number 3, circles. Keep giving movement around Taylor, making him turn so he's not set on his feet to punch or control the distance as you come in.
Well, Jermain Taylor is the toast of this town. He's been training in Florida, but he loves to come home to Arkansas. 16-0 now with 12 knockouts. His last 5, a 5-fight KO streak since his 10-rounder with Sam Hill. Just 16 rounds in those 5 fights. Makes quick work with that big power. Teddy Atlas's tips for Jermain Taylor.
Well, if Taylor's going to stay undefeated in his hometown, which he expects to do, or maybe on the side he can sell a little real estate over here. Control the ground in that ring. Charge him 3 punches for every foot he tries to come forward. In other words, control the range. Table setter. Let that long jab set up the straight right hand. And number 3, educated left hand. Your trainer, Pat Burns, has been working on that. Show the diversity and smarts of your most important weapon. Not just a straight jab, but when you have him at the end of that jab, turn it into a hook or an uppercut. Then he'll stay where you want him to all night long.
Big crowd at Alltel Arena in Little Rock, Arkansas. Gerald Ritter, your referee. They are scheduled for 12 rounds.
Back up, back up. Back up. Okay, gentlemen.
You're weighing over your head tonight, buddy.
Be quiet. Gentlemen, you're fighting for the WBC Continental America Middleweight Championship. I expect you to conduct yourself like champions. I want you to obey my commands. When I tell you to break, I want you to stop punching, take a step back, protect yourself at all times. Keep your punches up, watch your head. Touch them up. Let's go to work.
This crowd is anxious for Jermain Taylor to go to work. He says, I'm right on schedule, not too fast, not too slow in this career. I'm on the right pace. Many would say he's been in the fast track, already the 7th ranked contender among the middleweights, according to Ring Magazine.
Well, early there, you could see a little verbal sparring between the 2 head trainers, Pat Burns and Alfonso Ortiz Sr. from FREDDIE Cuevas, doing a little trash talking. Taylor wants to control distance. He's got long arms, a good body, good size. He wants to use that left jab to set the table for everything else, whether it's the right hand or the left hook.
Teddy talking about that jab, he landed 55% of the 35 jabs around he threw against Nicholas Cervera. The average middleweight throws in the low 20s per round and has a much lower connect rate.
Here's something to watch for in the little telltale sign. If you have a pitcher, you know, sometimes a pitcher might just do a little something before he throws a certain pitch, and then the batter can pick up. He knows what's coming. A little bit of a tip-off. Taylor, sometimes when he's going to throw that jab, he drops it just a little bit, and then he sort of flicks it out with that elbow coming up. He just drops it a little bit, and then he flicks it out like Larry Holmes used to do.
Scored well there.
But right now, it doesn't matter. The main thing is Taylor's punching at the right distance. He's taller than Cuevas. He's getting full extension on his punches. He's controlling range. He wants to control range and keep the fight at a certain geography. Get full extension on those punches. Keep Cuevas outside. Catch him outside. And if Cuevas does try to get in, like we said in the tips, make him pay for real estate. distance and control of distance is very important for the young Taylor. That time he pulled out, he got caught pulling out. Cuevas is a very game guy. I think he's made to order, to be honest with you, for Taylor. He's right in front of you, he's game, but he's one-dimensional, and he stands at the end of punches. And if he keeps doing that, Taylor sooner or later is going to get full extension on something behind that jab, like a right hand.
Tried to set up that right hand moments ago off the jab. He's doubled up that left hand a couple of times in this first round. Already thrown 47 jabs in this first round to Cuevas' 16.
You know what Cuevas does wrong, Joe? You see he can't win on the outside. I mean, he's getting taken apart by the jab. Sooner or later, those right hands are going to crash home. He's too short. He can't stay on the outside with that jab of Taylor. He wants to get inside, but watch when he gets inside. He's not sure how to get inside. And when he does get inside, he comes back out. Look, he comes right back out. So he gets in where he wants to be, then he comes right back out where he's going to eat more of those jabs.
Strong start for Jermain. It went according to plan in the opening round here at Alltel Arena in Little Rock. Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas with you ringside as we get a look at Jermain Taylor, the unbeaten contender, the former U.S. Olympian. He's up against FREDDIE Cuevas. Strong first round. 14 out of 62 jabs landed for Taylor in that first round.
But Taylor doesn't have enough physical advantages. Besides being a bronze medalist in the 2000 Olympic Games and all that experience and confidence and fighting top fighters around the world. He's also the bigger man. He's a full-fledged middleweight, Joe, his entire career. Matter of fact, he's had 4 fights close to super middleweight. And Cuevas, he is a smaller man. He's a junior middleweight his entire career. Only time his weight moved up to middleweight was his last fight. Before that, he was 153 pounds.
You can see a small abrasion, maybe turning into a cut above the right eye on the forehead of FREDDIE Cuevas.
I like the
Stabbing
discipline.
jab again.
Well, I like the jab, but I like the discipline of Taylor. You know, he's not just going in there and saying, I'm just going to... We just said he's the bigger guy. But he's using his height the right way. His trainer, Pat Burns, is developing him the right way. Knows he has to go up the ladder in boxing. So he's going to need technique, he's going to need skills, he's going to need knowledge. And you can see Pat Burns is imparting that on him. Look at the way Taylor's staying disciplined inside himself and keeping range. Not giving up his height, not giving up his reach. Look at the way he's keeping range. Very disciplined, very, very impressive. Using that jab to keep separation and then tempting Cuevas to get reckless, to come in, and then he can counter him. Cuevas stays outside, well then Taylor's going to keep using that jab, set the table, and then he'll start letting other shots come off of that jab. That time Taylor reached a little bit, but for the most part, very disciplined. The only thing that's a little giveaway for Taylor, and I'm sure his trainer's going to work on that, is every once in a while, watch. He throws 2 kinds of jabs. He'll throw the one that's from up top, where you don't see any warning. It just comes out beautifully. But then watch how he crosses that left hand, how he drops it. He'll drop it down around his chest, and then he'll flick it out. And when he drops it, right there, see that left hand? See the way he keeps it down? And then he flicks it out. You can pick up on that. You can know that it's down, it's going to come. There's a little warning. I like the way Taylor mixes up getting off first by using that jab traditionally, setting up distance, setting shots up like that, and then he looks for counters. Now watch, if Cuevas starts to reach in, he's going to look for a counter now. I like that.
More good work with that left hand from Jermain Taylor. World-class trainer, some news to tell us about.
Yeah, I just want to say to the people out there, the great fans that we have, that are the best fans in the world, the most loyal fans in the world, just want to say that Michael Graham, my heavyweight, is going to be moving on with somebody else. I didn't know whether or not I wanted him to continue. I'm more concerned about his safety than anything else. But Michael, he's young. He wants to continue. He's going to go in another direction. I wish him all the luck in the world. I'm sorry that we weren't able to get it done to the level that I wanted to get it done. I'm sorry I wasn't able to do that, but I really hope that Michael, the most of all, he's a good guy, he's a good man, he's a good family man, he's a gentleman. I just want to say, hey, I wish him all the luck in the world in continuing with his career. And he's got two good managers, Craig Hamilton and Jim Thomas, that will look out for him.
Round number 3, Jermain Taylor dominating the early action so far against FREDDIE Cuevas, who's still looking for an answer and a way to get inside against the big middleweight. Loading up that left hand, doubles it up, Teddy.
Well, that's because he has two dimensions here. That's what Taylor has. He can get off first, get full extension like he's doing, keep you at the end of the jabs, set the table,
in the back of his head,
but he can also counterpunch, and he's setting it up beautifully. Look, he uses the jab to frustrate the heck out of Cuevas, to take advantage of his reach, keep him at the end of punches, pot shot him, do some damage, and then Cuevas, what choice does he have? If he stays outside, he's going to get taken apart. So what does he do? He says, I better get in. And then when he tries to get in, what does Taylor do? He controls the range, and he looks for counters. I like the way Taylor has two gears. Getting off, setting up shots, getting off first, initiating offense, and then being able to counter when the opponent gets a little anxious or a little angry and tries to come in.
Cuevas comes in with a jab there. And keep in mind, FREDDIE Cuevas has been in a good opposition for most of his career, is well experienced and skilled. But Jermain Taylor, it is his night so far in front of the home crowd.
Look, it's nothing embarrassing for Taylor at this point in his career. Of his young career, he's 23 years old. He's got 16 fights. Nothing embarrassing to fight Cuevas. But the style is made to order for Taylor. Perfect style, I said it right from the beginning. Made to order for Taylor. Now, nothing to be ashamed of. Cuevas, good middle-level guy. But I believe for Taylor to continue developing, they're going to have to step up the opposition, where he's going to be tested a little bit. Take a deep breath. Have some questions answered, or some questions asked, and then answered during the course of a fight before he can get ready for the top level.
Back to the left hand, follows it up with a right. Taylor utilizing all the weapons so far.
Mixing it up nice. Again, Taylor uses his jab, keeps you at the end of that jab. You stay out there, he takes you apart. Then he keeps distance. You try to walk in, he's going to look to counter you.
The locals are loving it.
Have fun, stay loose.
Through 3 rounds, Jermain Taylor has thrown 186 jabs to Cuevas' 64. He's outlanded him 51-9 with that left hand.
The only thing that Taylor has to be a little careful of is when he steps out. That he doesn't step out tall or straight. That's where the aggressive Cuevas can look for an opportunity to step with him and maybe catch Taylor vulnerable, defensive, and a little tall, a little high, or a little straight, right there. You can see Taylor throwing that jab from a little too close, and he was pulling straight back. The right hand was able to get over it by Cuevas.
So the veteran lands the right hand, but Taylor fires right back.
As good as the jab is, and as long as the jab is of Taylor, it's only an advantage if you throw it, I don't care who you are, if you throw it from the right range, Joe. Once in a while, Taylor throws it from a little too close. And when he throws it from too close, that's the right distance from out there. You got to be at the right distance when you throw that jab. Full extension like that, where your opponent's not close enough to catch you as you're throwing it. But if Taylor, like there, he was almost too close there. If Taylor throws that jab from too close, then he can get timed as he's throwing it with the right hand. And I think that's what Cuevas now is trying to zone in on. There's not a lot he can zone in on. He's looking for confidence. He's looking for a door to get in this fight. And maybe that door is the right hand over the jab of Taylor. If he can get the right distance there it is again. You can see Cuevas has that in his mind to throw the right hand now over the jab of Taylor. Only problem is too few and far between. And watch that jab of Taylor's. He's got two of them. One that comes from high, that comes right off his jaw. Another one he drops it before he throws it. Watch that jab of Taylor's. Watch how he drops it a little bit. Drops it down there a little bit, turns it over to his right a little bit, and then flicks it out from his chest. See that jab? It's down. You know it's coming. Right now, look at the left hand of Taylor. You know it's coming. And before it comes, he has to raise it a little. And maybe Cuevas can time him before he raises it.
So far, Cuevas only able to land that right hand in that situation, as the crowd at Alltel Arena, they sense something in the air tonight. Their hometown hero, Jermain Taylor.
Taylor can win this fight with just his left hand, as long as he establishes, which he's done, and controls range.
Steady and smooth, the unbeaten Jermain Taylor. McDaniel anytime soon, licensed, hopefully.
No, that's right, and that's the right thing for the commission here in Arkansas to do, and it's good that it's set up in a national way, where, as you just said, it goes out on a national list, and other commissions, hopefully, will follow suit and keep him suspended.
Well, the good news for Freddie Cuevas is that he did a little better in that fourth round. His high total landed 13 punches. He connected with that one good right hand, following back the jab of Taylor. The bad news is Taylor hasn't come off the gas pedal at all. Still very effective. The jabs through round 5. 268 landing 81. And we're updating those numbers as we take a look at the CompuBox punch stats.
You're right to say the first word out of your mouth, the jab of Taylor's, is the key. The second thing, the distance that he throws it from. When Taylor throws it from the proper distance all the way out, where he gets full extension, there's nothing Cuevas can do except eat leather. When he throws it from too close, Cuevas can counter over it. Cuevas doesn't move his head a lot. It depends on blocking. He's a very game, and he depends on blocking. Every once in a while, stepping out with his legs out of range. But the problem is when you depend on blocking, guys like Taylor can put punches together on you, because while you're blocking, you're handcuffed. And you're just begging for somebody to put punches together on you, to keep you tied up, so to speak. When you move your head, you make the guy miss. The guy can't put punches together on you. He's got to worry about incoming. When you just block, the guy throwing doesn't have to worry about anything coming back. Not right away. So he becomes a combination puncher.
Good body shot, and then brings it upstairs with the left hand.
Now you want to see, as we said on the tips, the education of the left hand. There you see some of it. Downstairs, upstairs, now off that jab. We know that Taylor's got a terrific jab. He's got a long jab, and he's been able to be effective with it. Now we want to see him start doing things off that jab. See him hook off the jab, uppercut off the jab. Make that jab talk. Show what a high IQ that jab has, or that left hand has. Don't just hit him with the jab. Hit him with something else. Jab, turn it to a hook. Especially when you have Cuevas at the end of that jab, right in position to turn something off it.
The unbeaten middleweight contender, Jermain Taylor. He told us, I've been envisioning this fight all week long. A bunch of jabs, a bunch of right hands. I envision it over and over. Well, through 5 rounds, that vision has become reality.
Bottom right-hand corner of Taylor, 2 good things you see. Combination punching and punching at the right distance. Keeping extension on his punches. That's why he's winning this fight.
Now right back to the jab here in round number 6. Beautiful work in the final minute of that 5th round, doubling up the left hook to the body, up to the head. He outlanded Cuevas 18-2 in that final minute.
You know, Joe, Cuevas is a very game guy, made to order. I said it early for Taylor. I think the only way Taylor's going to go home early if he's going to get a knockout for his fans here is to go to the body. Because Cuevas has a good chin. He covers pretty good. Doesn't allow you to get too many clean shots to that chin. He's very game. I think the only way you're getting rid of Cuevas tonight is Taylor, who's a good body puncher, starts banging downstairs.
Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas with you in our main event. We're now joined by Pat Burns, the trainer for Jermain Taylor. Pat, the call to order to the body, I know it's something that's on your list and it's been effective. It was in that 5th round.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing to do with these young fighters like Jermain, you know. They got to learn how to commit to the body and just stay with it for a while, you know. It's really exciting to go to head and everything, but Cuevas, man, he's got a chin, you know, like it's made of steel. But boy, the body, he works that body. We'll get him. I think that's about the only way we're going to get this guy out of here. He gets on that body.
Yeah, I agree with you, Pat. How much do you want to knock out?
Well, I'll tell you right now, I'm really enjoying this because he's learning a lot, you know. And when we go back and review the film from this, he's going to learn a lot, especially not going to the body so early. He needs to be on that body. I would like a knockout for the fans. I don't want him to force it. I think it'll come. We still got like those body shots right there. If he commits to the body, we got a good chance of it. And I'd like to see him get it, but it's just a great experience for him right now.
Pat Burns, thank you very much. Trainer for Jermain Taylor, the unbeaten middleweight contender. Says if the knockout's there, he'd love it for the fans. Freddie Cuevas has never been knocked out in his career.
These guys that take good shots to the head. When you go to the body, that's where it turns around a little bit if it's going to turn around.
Just a dominating 6th round for Taylor, outlanding him 31-4 with still 40 seconds to go here in round number 6.
You know, it's a funny thing. We want to see Taylor go to the body to get a knockout if he's going to be able to get one. It's interesting to see if he could do something that hasn't been done to Cuevas. Break down the tough Cuevas and get a knockout. But we've also been yelling about how he has to keep distance like that, get full extension on his punches, make sure he's punching with distance, with range. Well, if he goes to the body, we're asking him to go against that a little bit. We're asking him to get closer and not keep range. There's the loose tape on the left glove of Taylor, and the referee doing a good job in getting that fixed so it doesn't get in the eye of Cuevas.
And Pat Burns doesn't want to lose momentum after that big right hand from Jermain Taylor. Heck of a 6th round. Friday Night Fights presented by Middleweight, round number 7. Jermain Taylor in the powder blue, the unbeaten middleweight contender, the former Olympian. We're in his hometown here in Little Rock, Arkansas. Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas with you ringside. A dominating night so far. Halfway through this scheduled 12-rounder, 60-54, a clean sweep on Teddy Atlas's scorecard for Jermain Taylor.
Well, you saw those punch stats, and obviously sometimes they're very helpful more than other nights. And right there you can see only 5 punches landed by Cuevas, and that's simply because Taylor is controlling range. He's not allowing, for the most part, Cuevas to get into any range to land punches. You can have all the intent in your heart you want to throw a punch and to land it, but you have to have the right geography, the right setting to be effective with that punch. Taylor's not giving him that geography. Taylor's making sure that he's doing all the punching from a distance where he can land, and Cuevas can't get into position close enough where he can land. Watch how Taylor controls distance and range. That's not by accident. There he was too close again, Taylor. Every once in a while he throws that jab from a little too close. That's when Cuevas can touch him with the right hand.
Stop, break.
Freddie Cuevas, a little over a year ago, he had back-to-back knockout wins over Charles Murray and Alfredo Rivera. Santiago Semeniego fought him. He couldn't take him out. He's never been knocked out in his entire professional career, dating all the way back to 1995. But little by little, Jermain Taylor seems to be breaking him down here in Little Rock. Good body shot with the right hand.
And that's the only way that Taylor's going to be able to go to the locker room before 12 rounds, go into that body. And that time he was able to keep his distance and still go to the body by throwing the right hand from outside. But Taylor's favorite punch to the body is that left hook. When he does that, he has to get a little closer. And as we said the last round, Joe, that goes against his plan a little bit. Goes against his discipline of keeping range. So here we are. Easy for us to yell, go to the body. Meanwhile, Taylor's saying, yeah, but I want to keep range. I want to keep distance.
Break. Step and full, take back.
Perfect style for Taylor is Cuevas. Very game guy, but a guy in front of you. Guy who allows you to keep distance, and you allow Taylor to keep distance, he's going to control you. And he's controlled Cuevas round after round.
Steve Atwater, all from Arkansas. Now, the local focus has been on Jermain Taylor, and they are loving it. Riding that wave of success into the pro ranks. And he's been doing it tonight with his jab. 416 thrown. He's outlanded Cuevas 142 to 24. More good work with the left hand here in round 8.
Cuevas starting to break down a little bit from those body shots. You could see.
There's a body shot right on that belt. Ritter gives a warning.
If Taylor stays with that left hook to the body this round, he might, even though Cuevas is very game, and this is a risky thing to say, he might get rid of Cuevas. I believe Cuevas has bruised ribs, at least bruised ribs on his right side. Just watch his right arm, Joe. Watch the way he's keeping it low. He's keeping it close to him, and he's keeping it low. Even knowing that might leave him open to a left hook up top, he's keeping that right hand low, as though he's got a sore spot on that right side where the ribs are.
There's a big right hand. What a 1-2 from Jermain Taylor. Goes right back to it. Crowd getting behind him. Great atmosphere here in Little Rock as Cuevas eats another right hand.
Hey, Joe, we talked about Cuevas having a good chin, being game, and usually keeping those hands up and blocking. You notice he's not blocking as well because of that body work. I think now Cuevas' hands are dropping a little to protect the body, and that's why you're seeing some of those headshots and that right hand getting clean now instead of being blocked by the glove. The body work is paying dividends for Taylor. Those hands dropping, and the guard not there for Cuevas. And if the guard's not there, well, then it's a matter of time before those headshots start cleanly landing on Cuevas. And Cuevas won't be able to take too many of the clean ones, as tough as he is. Look at that right arm, that right elbow of Cuevas. He's just keeping it down in a way where you just get a feeling that those ribs are sore. If Taylor can read that, if he can pick up that, go with that left hook to the body, maybe he does something nobody's done. He stops Cuevas. You can see it again, that left hook to the body. You can see Cuevas bend over a little bit. Drop that right arm. That time Taylor got caught a good counter shot by Cuevas as he gave up his height. He came in with his hands down, got a little too close. He got timed on the way in. Height is great if you punch from the right height.
Jermain Taylor just breaking down Freddie Cuevas. Cuevas coming on here in the final moments of round number 8. But for the better part of 3 minutes, it was all Jermain Taylor. Let's listen in.
Breathe and relax. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Hey, listen. You got to fight 3 minutes. You fought 2 minutes and 50 seconds that time. All right? You know it too, don't you? Don't get lazy in that last 10 seconds. What is the old veteran going to do?
Try to fight
He's going to look for one punch, right? That's all he's looking for, you to make a mistake. Don't let that lethargic movement here fool you. He's just going to look the only chance he's got. So don't get lazy. Keep your discipline. Keep discipline. Good basics. Good solid jabs. Good body shots. Good, a couple more body shots. 6 punches.
Here's some of that body work in the 8th round, Teddy.
Yeah, we were talking about it. There's that left hook to the body. Little low, not real low. A little bit on the side of the hip a little bit. But it affected Cuevas. Knocked him off balance a little bit. And I think made Cuevas keep that right arm down a little bit, which could leave an opening up top. Give Cuevas a lot of credit, though. You talk about heart, you're talking about Cuevas.
Cuevas comes out strong here in the 9th round. You heard Pat Burns, the trainer for Jermain Taylor, say, don't get fooled by a veteran. Don't get fooled by that lethargic look. He's going to fight in spurts. He's going to look for his one opportunity.
Jeez, I didn't think the style of Cuevas could test Taylor tonight. And so far it really hasn't. Although Taylor slowed down a little bit in that last round. But just maybe the durability, the maturity, the plain old toughness of Cuevas, maybe that can test Taylor a little bit in these late rounds. Cuevas is hoping.
What great scoring from Jermain Taylor. Opened it up with a big straight right hand. Freddie Cuevas has never been taken out in his long pro career. Well-experienced veteran fighter.
You know when you were a kid, Joe, you had to walk home through a certain neighborhood that wasn't a good neighborhood, and your parents said, don't go through that neighborhood. If you have to go through it quick. Move fast. Pick up those feet and go through quick. Well, that's kind of like the story for Cuevas. When he has to get in, it's a bad neighborhood. And he better get in quick. Because when he's trying to walk in, like right here, he's trying to come into a bad neighborhood. And Taylor's got too much distance, too much height, too much reach to let Cuevas walk into that neighborhood without getting hurt.
Getting a good look at the guy who many are pegging as the future of the sport for years to come. Jermain Taylor putting on a very solid, consistent, and well-rounded show tonight in front of his home fans. Back to the jab.
Every once in a while, Cuevas, to his credit, he keeps trying. When he does get it close, he'll catch Taylor stepping straight back every once in a while. But when Taylor extends those punches at the right distance, just watch, right here now. Cuevas got to come into that neighborhood, and it's tough to come into that neighborhood. Watch, he's got to come in now. And to come in, he knows he has to deal with Taylor being able to catch him before he gets in.
Greatest connection with the left hand.
The only flaw of Taylor is every once in a while he'll drop those hands and he'll step straight back with those hands down. And a good, experienced, steady guy can step with him and have hope that he can time him. Right there, you can see Cuevas just missing the right hand as Taylor stepped back, vulnerable with the left hand down. That's Cuevas' only shot.
Up and split the gloves now. Up to, you saw that right hand landed up the middle. And came back short. Very good. Jab hard. Show from a different
Jermain Taylor, a good student of the game already in his young career, and he's advanced himself and graduated from prospect to contender. The new Ring Magazine rankings already number 7. And you know something, Teddy? That's kind of thin up there at the top of that middleweight division. Yeah, you have the champ, who for all we know may be retired, but it starts to get thin in front of Jermain Taylor.
Yeah, it does. And you can see a position in the future for Taylor up in that top level, that top echelon. But again, I'm going to say, his people have done a terrific job with him. Even when he's stepped up with middle-level opponents, tough guys like Cuevas, really he hasn't been tested because the styles have suited him so well. Now, that's no knock on anybody. He's a young guy. He deserves these kind of fights. He's still getting rounds. He's getting a chance to learn. But he's not really getting forced to answer any questions. I think somewhere before he goes to the very top, he's going to have to be in a fight where he's tested a little bit. So he's got answers to questions that are going to come up with those top guys. You know, it's a funny thing. That's almost going against the management. You want to pick a guy that's got the right style for your guy. And Lou DiBella and the people with Taylor, Pat Burns, they've done, Mark Vaz, his manager, they've done a terrific job with that. But you're gonna have to deal with other styles at the top. And they might want to pick a guy that style doesn't suit Taylor quite as much, where they still think they got the advantage, where Taylor's gonna maybe be forced to take a deep breath, at least mentally, in a fight. That's gonna help him later on. And you see the two jabs that Taylor wants. He's got two kinds of jabs. The one where he drops it down, right here. See how he drops it, crosses it over? Then he picks it up. And you can see him picking it up before he throws it, if you're good enough to time it with the right hand, as you can see Cuevas try. And then there's the other jab that comes from up top, the conventional jab.
Step back, don't push, don't push.
He's like a pitcher that changes his height on his delivery. Comes overhead, comes sidearms, comes three-quarters.
Under a minute to go in round number 10. They're scheduled for 12.
Break.
Landed 19 power connects in the 8th round. Another 20 in the 9th round. Jermain Taylor been going to work as this fight has gone on. Consistent effort.
Now, if you're watching at home wondering if Cuevas has any chance down the stretch, he might have gotten an answer about 20 seconds ago. Cuevas got inside, finally got inside with the taller Taylor. It's his best chance inside, and he didn't do anything. And if he's not going to do anything inside, Cuevas, well, we've already seen he's not going to be able to do too much on the outside.
Not just broken down physically, but slowly breaking down mentally.
Stop. Seconds out. Let's go, seconds.
All part of the learning experience for the unbeaten Jermain Taylor. He's never been past 10. The 11th round now against the veteran FREDDIE CUEVAS. The jabs through 10, 208 to 32. We heard in between the 10th and 11th round, Alfonso Ortiz in the corner of FREDDIE CUEVAS saying, Freddie, come on, you got to do something. You got to do something. They can't believe what they're seeing out of FREDDIE CUEVAS.
When Taylor first came out of the Olympics, his biggest asset was his right-hand power. But you need more than that to become a world champion in the business of the sweet science. And his trainer, Pat Burns, understood that. Thus started the development and the journey of educating and developing that left hand, which you see tonight at Taylor. What I like about Pat Burns is he understands that, and he knows how to turn a dark cloud into a silver lining. I was talking to Pat earlier today, Joe. And early in their training camp, about 6 weeks ago, Taylor hurt his right hand. A lot of guys might have panicked, started thinking about calling the fight off or anything. Not Burns. He understood, as a real trainer should, that the most important hand is the left hand. And he had plenty of weeks to go. So he made him work just the left hand for about 3 weeks. Only the left hand. Two things happened. The right hand got better, and the left hand got better and smarter.
Been awesome tonight. Thrown over 600 jabs, landed over 220 of them, and he's shown good body work with that left hook. And it's got him into this position now. 11th round, scheduled for 12. Another body shot. Comes with a little sneaky uppercut with that right hand.
There hasn't been a lot of consistent body work from Taylor, but when he has gone to the body, it's obviously very effective. And again, I think that Cuevas is sore and damaged in the rib area. Just watch his elbows. But any time he gets close, he almost drops those hands, not caring if he leaves his head unprotected, just to make sure that his ribs have cover. And you don't do that unless you're hurt downstairs.
Stop. Break.
We talked about the experience of Cuevas. He's fought 2 former world champions. He is a smaller man. He is a junior middleweight, really. Taylor's a full middleweight. But it hasn't been just his size and strength. It's been that left hand, it's been the smarts, the technique of Taylor, not to allow Cuevas to use his experience.
Rounds in the books here on Friday Night Fights, our main event from Little Rock, Arkansas. All-Tel Arena. Look at this crowd to see Jermain Taylor.
Here, keep your balance, okay? You don't need to get wild or anything. The knockout comes, it comes, okay? Keep your good balance, keep your discipline. Good solid ass jabbing him all the time, okay? Good basics, good jab. Maybe come up underneath. Maybe come up underneath. Set up this punch, set it up. Okay? Look for the short punch. Keep the jab busy, but it's got to be short. Short, with a follow with the left hand. And if you land it, come right back on him, but with balance. Hey, step aside, the bull of the matador. Okay? Do it Veronica on him, you know? All right, buddy. Breathe and relax. Set it up, okay?
Pat Burns. He's enjoyed this night, Teddy.
With the left hand, set up that right hand to the body, because the left hand makes Cuevas go defensive. And then when he's defensive, he can sneak other shots in. Once again, that left jab makes Cuevas go defensive, and the coast is clear for the other punches. You know, this is a good spot here, the last round here, the 12th round. Maybe this is a good spot, Joe, to mention the pros and cons of fighting at home. You know, usually you think about the pros. The pros are the only thing you think about. You know, you're at home, you got the crowd. Listen to that crowd. It's great. They can revive you if you think you're tired. You got the crowd behind you. You might even have home cooking. Taylor doesn't need it. Obviously, he's dominated this fight. You know, it's a great atmosphere, but there's cons to it, too. You can get a lot of requests for tickets. You can get a lot of people calling you, maybe making it hard for you to sleep. You know, the pro is, hey, you get to sleep in your own bed. You're not in training camp. You're not in a hotel. That's great. But the con is, hey, somebody might be calling you that knows you from your neighborhood in that home bed. They might be asking for a ticket. So there's pros and cons to fighting at home. Right now, Taylor's just thinking of the pros, that crowd being behind him. I'm sure the people behind Taylor, they might have even sequestered him off to a hotel, even though he's home, just to make sure that he doesn't get requests for tickets, doesn't get waking up in the middle of the night.
Good combinations halfway through this 12th round for Jermain Taylor. Very steady work with the left hand, too. In fact, in mere moments, he is just about to go over the threshold and set the new CompuBox record for the most jabs thrown in a fight. And right there, he just did it. 655 jabs thrown tonight. The middleweight record for CompuBox jabs.
Well, we mentioned earlier you can win this fight just with his left jab, and I guess if you throw 600, you can win a lot of fights with that left jab.
Cuevas with an exchange in the middle. Oh, short right hand, follows it up with the left hand.
The only thing Taylor got to work on is keeping those hands up a little better when he disengages. Because that's when opponents later on are going to try to come back and nail him. But right now, it's fun time. And it's shining time.
Here's a great sign, Teddy. Here's a great sign for Jermain Taylor, and this is what he deserves and the fans deserve. Let him loose down the stretch in the 12th round.
But right now,
effort throughout.
Taylor doesn't have to worry about his hands being down because his offense is serving as his best defense. He's getting the punches off at the right distance, and Cuevas can't come back and do anything about it. I like the versatility of Taylor. He can counter, he can box, and he can stand there and set things up off the jab.
Judge Joe Miller scores his fight 120-108. Judge John Griffin scores 120-108. Judge W.Q. Morrison scores 120-108. The winner, a new WBC Continental American Middleweight Champion, Jermain Taylor.